This conference will now be recorded.
Hi, very good morning and good evening, everyone. Welcome back. So last session, we were discussing about different components of the cluster, right? So we talked about different pieces, right? So today we're going to talk about, so you know the pieces, and now you can go ahead and create your own servers. Right? So how do we set up our own servers, and what are the things we just need to consider whenever you go for what are the things we need to consider when we go for new cluster? So first thing, resources, hardware resources, right? So what are the things we do require in general is basically resources. What is a major part we have to consider is resources. When it comes to the resources, what is the so CPU, right? And what is the memory? What is the memory? And probably what is the data size, basically, or disk size? What is the disk size? And finally, so you're going to go for network. Okay, so network capacity is also we have to plan. So these are the things which we want to consider. So out of that, this disk size is not a serious one. So because the disk is quite cheaper and it can, it's a quite cheaper one, and that's where it's not a big deal. Okay, disk is not a big deal. So, but the CPU and memory, and whereas the network is the quite important things when we consider about a cluster creation. And how much CPU we want to use. Okay, so how much CPU you wanted to use is generally again, it also depends upon the two things again. Okay, left side and right side. Okay, left side is nothing but your Kubernetes cluster, right? So the diagram, go back, the diagram, yeah. So left side and right side. So left side is the Kubernetes server part, and right side is the node part. Node is how much capacity you want to run, how many pods you want to run, how many containers you want to run. So that's the other side. But we're talking about creating the own cluster on the left side. So until now, this left side piece is just you're taking a cluster and you're playing with that. Okay. So but now you're going to get your own cluster. Okay, so you're going to create all those particular pieces. Again, you can go ahead and create all those particular pieces in a single server, or you can go with the multiple servers. Okay, but how do you design that? Okay, so there are multiple ways of designing. So etcd, you keep it separate, and remaining components you put it in one machine. Etcd separate, ABS servers separate, and remaining components on one server. It's all how do you play that? That's all your choice. Okay, so choice in the sense we have to understand, so what is this requirement kind of thing, so we can just do that. So for me, if we can just maintain etcd as separate, and the remaining components on the separate servers is fine, since etcd is a database, so we can just have some more stability, okay, kind of thing, just for just for the standardization purpose. Okay, so now let's go with creating a cluster. So first, let's take a single node cluster, and how do we set up our single node cluster? Okay, so when you go with creating your own cluster, so when it comes to the resources, basically we'll talk about that definitely. We'll definitely talk about that, but first starts with a single node cluster. Okay, let's go and create a single node cluster. So how do you create a single node cluster? You take a single node and you are gonna just create a cluster. But majorly, when you design or when you create a node, you need to know the capacity, right? Let's go for Kubernetes Kubernetes create cluster. So there is some create cluster documentation from Kubernetes docs. You can just go with that and run that. So creating high available clusters with kubeadm. Okay, so this is one thing we can start with. So it's a production environment tools, kubeadm high availability, and this is what you're going to do. So you're going to require 3 machines, but again, as we talked about, we just want to start with 1 machine, so we can go with that. But before you begin, so what are the things you need as a prerequisites? Okay, so kind of thing is mentioned here. So probably you will try those and we'll move on. Okay. Yeah, so here it is. and 3 machines, and KubeADM minimum requirements is there. So just opening that in another page. So what it is telling is either Ubuntu machine or CentOS 7 machine, whatever the machine, 2 GB or more of RAM per machine, and then 2 CPUs or more, and full network connectivity between all machines in the cluster, and unique host name, unique MAC address, and so product UID. That's also part of network, and so that should be there. And so certain ports are open on your machine. So see here for your details. And swap disabled, you must disable swap in order to keep the kubelet to work properly. So this is what the expectation it is taking. So see, 2 GB and 2 CPU, anything more than that is fine for that. And I'm going to create a cluster or create a server with that particular capacity. I'll go with T3 medium, that is fine.
So Raghu, 3 machines in the sense like one is for controller, another one is for master, and the another one for slave.
No. All three as for a master only for high available purpose.
Okay.
So if you recall, we talked about this. So here it is. API server HI you're going to have 3 API servers, and you balance the load between the load balancer. So yeah, 3 servers. So a single node cluster, and I'm going for EC2. One second. So probably I can ask a machine here. I think we moved on to other region, right? Yeah. Okay, anywhere is fine. Let it. All right. So what are the things you have to install? So you have to install, or let's take the machine which we got. Pre-m, we have 16 GB of RAM, no problem. cat /proc/CPU info. We are getting 4 core, and this is fine. Okay, so too much enough. So we can go with this. And to start with, you need to run the commands like kubeadm command. and so kubedium command and init and this one. Okay, so let's start with here creating a cluster with kubedium, and hit the one before you begin. This is the one you want, and objective create install a single control plane Kubernetes cluster and installing kubedium on your host. And this is a one. And basically, so when you initializing your control plane node, and I mean control plane is nothing but master. Master is called also called as control plane, and this control plane node is machine. So where the control plane machine is the machine where the control plane components run, including the etcd, API server, other kubectl commands also, which is fine. So recommended. So if you have plans of upgrading a single single control, if you have plans to upgrade this single control plane kubedium cluster to high availability, so you should use control plane endpoint. So better always use control plane endpoint. So to set to the shared endpoint to all the other control plane nodes. So such an endpoint can either a DNS name or the IP address or a load balancer, it is telling. So probably if you are going with a 3-node cluster, so you have to set the control plane endpoint as the load balancer endpoint. Okay, so now choose a pod network add-on and verify, okay, which requires the arguments to be passed. Okay, you have to choose the network. We'll go there today only we'll go there. And so I think these are all optional, you can just ignore them, so that's fine for us, and just go for kubedium init. That's all, simple. Okay, so here kubedium we have to install Kubernetes version, and this is okay, and install kubedium, installing Kubernetes with deployment tools, installing kubedium. So starting you have document, and also before to that it also expects some prerequisites. Is not only the operating system level, there are some OS level things also is there, or so not only the resources perspective, there are some OS related things. So you need to take care of this. So you can get a MAC address of the network interfaces by using IP link. It has to be unique, so no problem, you will get unique only, no issues. This is Amazon, they will take care. And check network adapters. So so if you have more than one network adapter, your Kubernetes components are not reachable on the default route. So something. So we'll go with single network only. That's not a problem for us. And what else? So the next thing is letting IP tables see bridging traffic. So you need to enable some bridge traffic so that the IP tables can work. So you know that in Kubernetes, it all deals with IP tables, that especially the kube proxy. So especially opening the node ports and all, you hit one server, so that actually redirects the traffic to the server where it has, and all those information you should be doing there. I think I can just copy this and run this. So these are some so kube system CTL configuration, which is nothing but the OS level, the core kernel level values. Okay, we have to set certain things, and so check required ports, whether these ports are open or not. So probably I think I might have opened all the ports because I might have used allow all by default, and all TCP, all UDP, both you open, so which is often no issue at all. So all are TCP only, there is no UDP, no worries. And worker nodes also you have to open certain ports, which is not a problem. Installing runtime, you can choose whichever the runtime you want to use, Docker or Containerd or CRIO, whatever it is. Okay, first you need to install the runtime. So how do I install runtime is call -s https :/ get.docker.com. So that will take care. Now you need to install the packages of kubedium, kubelet, and kubectl. So these are the things. So yeah, how do you install them is here. So you just need to copy a repo file.
Raghu, this curl command is just for installing the Docker runtime?
That's it, yeah. That's their script only, get.docker.com. It's a shell script.
Okay.
run this. So set n40, so put in that one that's already there, which is not an issue, and this is okay. And you have to install the softwares, the other thing. And so you enable you enable the kubelet. Kubelet is the one, so if you remember, kubelet is the one, so which creates the pods and all, right? Now all these master components are also going to be, everything is a pod only. Everything is going to be a pod only. Okay, so the kubeadium is going to bring the required pods, that's it. And so you can go for when using Docker, kubeadium will automatically detect the C group driver, which is fine. And the next thing, I don't think so. If it is something else, I have to do something, okay, which is okay. Now I'll go with installing kubeadium and creating a cluster with kubeadium. So kubeadium init. So kubeadium init. It's going to run and bring the necessary containers inside that. Okay, so which is the different components you have seen, right? etcd, API server, and the other scheduler, and any controllers. So in a production grade cluster, you may not really go with running with the kubeadium, but there is nothing wrong, again, as I mentioned. Okay, it's all up to you. But if you want to do that, I mean, in general, so there are tools actually to do that. Okay, so that's where the tools comes into picture. Now you have some, so they're telling create your home directory .cube location and copy the configuration which is available from here to here, and so change something to here to here. Okay, so change the permissions, that's it. And now cat.cube config. And if you see the Kubernetes config, so what is the information which you have is an endpoint which you have. Okay, so which is this server. And if you want to have it from the public, then you would have given that cluster endpoint as your public IP address, but that's not, it is okay. And so a couple of other information like context. So context is this is one cluster it is telling. Okay, in the context you can have multiple contexts. Okay, you can have multiple clusters. So probably there is a tool called as context manager KX. So if I go for KX, actually I have multiple contexts. So that means I have multiple configurations in the same config file. I can switch to wherever I want to switch. Okay, I can switch it basically. The Kubernetes, a cluster name, context name is Kubernetes, and the user we are using is a Kubernetes admin. And so some name it is actually keeping, so name could be anything, and the current context is also telling that this is the one which it is actually having a currently pointing to, and the config, and the users is kubeadium, and it actually goes with a token. So this is the token. Okay, so using this particular token, it is going to authenticate into our cluster. Okay, so we can, it's simply like, so call command, you provide some token, right? So if you have seen the Elasticsearch, when we connected, we have given -u, that one. So the same way, so this is also kind of a token, very big one. You just need to take this and connect to that. Okay, and end of the day, so this kubectl also does is a call command only. I mean, APIs basically, call command in the sense, call hit the API, and you also hit the kubectl also hit the API and the API server. So kubectl get space pods, there's no pods it is telling, and all name spaces. So you can see this, you're getting the core DNS basically. You're getting core DNS, okay, and you're getting etcd, and you're getting API server, one controller manager, kube proxy, kube scheduler. So scheduler, control manager, API server, etcd are the server components. in order to run these nodes, some pods and all and everything, so you have kubeproxy, and you have kubeproxy, and you have some codens. Codens is for, see, Kubernetes always, when you create some service, you can always go with some names, right? You hit the service name with the service name and all. It all goes with the naming, and that's where you require a DNS server. Okay, so this is how you're going to create a single cluster. If it is multiple clusters, so what you're going to do is you're going to take 3 nodes manually, and the first node you're going to start with this, and the second node, what you're going to do is you're just going to take these particular commands, and okay, so if you want to join any worker nodes, but if you want to run any master nodes, so then so that also kubeadm init has some options. Okay, so kubeadm init, if you go for kubeadm init and -- help, so enter, you'll find some options to create a multi cluster, right? So here you are going with a single cluster, creating a high available cluster with the kubeadm. If you go with that, so what it is telling is controller endpoint is this one. Okay, you are going to do that, and you can join any number of control net clones. Okay, if you use that particular option, the output comes in this way. You can join any number of control plane nodes using running this following command. Okay, so that is what it is telling. So probably we can take a look of how to create some other nodes. And if you have any etcd external nodes if you are created, so then you need to do a little bit more work. So you need to create one YAML file, okay, configure that your etcd endpoint and all, and okay, so we just need to run similarly config kubeadm config, this YAML file you have to take. Okay, so let's go with creating a multi-node cluster, and we maintain some high availability and deal with that. Okay, so I will just go with taking 3 servers. Just takes little time. Yeah. And also I'm going to take a load balancer and I'm going to put that particular endpoint. Okay, so because I want to balance the load, so all I need is a load balancer, so I'll go with the load balancer. So I can go for HTTP, and this is Kubernetes whatever. But all this manual effort can be done by automation through the tools. Okay, that's it. And you go here, go here, go here, and okay, fine, register targets. So you're having total 4 targets. Out of that, I want only Where is mine? So other than which one? Other than this one. This is old one. So other than this old one, I want everything. So F02, I don't want it. So F02. This is other than this. I want these three. Next. Create. So let it come down. Okay, I think it's already created an endpoint, so probably we can just use this. Or else, if you want to put a DNS record also is fine. So we have all the things which is already there, right? Route 53 if I go for, we already have that one as well. DNS also, right? We created in the very starting of the sessions, and yeah. So here it is. K06-2020-09-28-SESSION-31 and create a record. Okay. Cube master and this one, and this is an IP address, yeah, and it's a CNAME record. And create the record. All right, so I can go to one by one server, and now I can go with, so the first one, and here it is, just go with that. And the prerequisites are common. The prereqs are common, so that means I had to go with how to copy that particular what we call sysctl configuration and all I have to do. Let's say RSSH. I'm just logging directly as a root user. Over here, so how do you install KubeADM? So these are simple commands. So just do this, and you have to install the container runtime. So call -s https://jet.docker.com /. And so the next one is you're going to install KubeADM and other things. So then finally you're going to do this. Let it come.
So Raghu, I got a doubt here. So, hello.
Sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, go ahead.
So these master nodes, if you want to scale up, how these packages would fit installed? Like, do we take any LC kind of thing, branch configuration?
Automation. So use Terraform if you want to use KubeADM. Okay, simply provision with Terraform. Terraform can take care of the things. Okay, so if you want to scale up, yeah. Or else the tool. I'm talking about a tool, right? So using the tool also you can do that.
KubeADM.
Not KubeADM. So KubeADM is the very bare one. Okay, so not KubeADM. So you have some tools, third-party tools for this.
Okay.
Okay, so and finally you're done here. So you can just go ahead and create this cluster. So but while creating, we have to be cautious now how to use this one. Okay, the endpoint is quite important now. So kubectl upload search is not needed. So here I can go for kubectl load balancer DNS and the port number. So port number is 80. So I can go for kube-master. What is the record we created? So :80.
So Raghu, here we are using the load balancer endpoint, right?
Yeah.
So it will automatically pick up all the 3 nodes.
No, how come? No, you're just registering the cluster configuration. Later I'll use this endpoint is what you're telling.
Okay, but even for this initialization, we are giving the endpoint only, right? Like
yeah, later I will use this endpoint. So you're pre-configuring that while installation. So without that, it will not work. Okay, so the cluster will store it the endpoint information. Yeah.
okay.
Since it is a cluster. Yeah.
Okay, so we need to execute the same command in all the 3 nodes.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So if I, in the meantime, if I take another connection to the same server and let's see what's happening.
The kube config will create here.
Yeah, kube config will come. So the API server is actually coming on the port number, which is 6443. And so that's the reason I have to go back to the load balancer and point to 6443 so that it can start working. Okay, so I can go to the load balancer here. And by default, actually, we have selected some 80 port and listeners, here nodes, and 80 point of this one should go to the target. Register targets is empty, but anyhow, here details edit, Actually, it should go for HTTP/ and it should go with override the 80 port. Okay, so we'll like to go with 6443 port. Okay, and which is fine. So this is the health check we are making. Okay, so yeah. This one, and I would like to go with the targets and the register target. So the first node which we have here is 7186. 7186. Add it. Ports for the selected instance, it is not 80. It's 6443. So it is going to initialize. What is the error? So the error is a kubelet is not running. And how do I verify the kubelet runner status of this one? It's actually showing it is running, but it is telling this node not found. What is this node? So this is the same node, and it is telling this node not found. So container runtime. Yeah, so this is the problem with the certificate actually. Okay, cannot create a certificate signing request post creating this one. So we are actually using an endpoint, and that endpoint actually so HTTP server gave HTTP response to HTTPS client also. What is this? It's from the master. Is there any skip SSL? Remove this option, but that option is not going to help us, I believe. It's not empty. So run, you can ignore these pre-flight checks, ignore pre-flight errors. So this flag needs an argument and the strings, and just give all. So it is not actually redirecting the traffic to here. That's also another problem. Let's see. Should not take this much time as far as I remember. Let's see. Call localhost colon 6443. So client send an HTTP request to an HTTPS server. Okay, HTTPS colon // Okay, so yeah, this is the problem. Yeah, and you can go for -k. You're getting something. All right. So then what I need to do is the port 80 I cannot use there on the load balancer. So what I need to do is I would be using okay, I would be using a secure port. So delete it. Let me go to the listener and edit. No, not edit. Delete this. Add listener, and it's actually going to be HTTPS 443 and action, and it's going to be forward to, and the target group is actually going to be notes, and yeah, this is the certificate, and the certificate don't have certificates. No certificates is coming. Import a certificate. I should be importing. I think I created one certificate, but where did I kept it? Okay. So let me take a look. So it seems I don't have that certificate. Huh? Okay, I can generate one now. So probably just by going with something called as I can go for lab auto. But lab auto will not help. Okay, let's see. Let's encrypt. No, that also will not help. Certbot. So I need a certificate. Without this certificate, it will not work since it is HTTPS configuration. Or for time being, I can go for one certificate also. How can I go for one certificate is, but that's also a problem. Okay. Certbot. Let's go to GitHub. So / let's encrypt auto and enter. So it will just install the necessary packages. Let it install. Certbot. So it has a lot of options. We can go with what is I want to make it. So here, obtain, install, or renew certificates. I want that only. I'm not doing any renew. And so here, I would like to go with Apache, or I would like to go with standalone, or I would like to go with Nginx or WebRoot, or I would like to go with manual. Okay, so manual. And here set test set discount no. And so many certificates, okay, create an account, no, agrees on terms and conditions, and -n .vit@gmail.com I'm giving, and yeah, that's it. So mostly, but I want to make a wildcard certificate. So where do I specify wildcard certificate? Certbot. There are a lot of websites actually tells the information. You go with manual. Preferred DNS challenge is something it is given as a DNS. Okay, so preferred DNS, this one I don't see that option. -- preferred. Okay, so you go for domains. It is given as domains. I missed this -d. So which is cube06.tk and star.cube 06.tk. Okay, so this is what I wanted to do, and so here it is. You see this star dot this one, and that is what I'm given, and I would like to go with enter. Now what it is telling is setbot cannot pin install HTTPS. By default will attempt to observe the web server. No, I think I can go for -yum. Yum stands for email. That's where it failed. So yum and hyphen preferred hyphen. That option is not showing, but let's hyphen preferred hyphen challenges. This is equal to DNS. So okay, I think directly star. Okay. So once your certificate is successfully issued, share your email address. Okay, I'm okay with that. So are you okay? Your IP is logged in. Yes. And so create a DNS text record under the name of _acme challenge, this one, and the value is that. So I'll go with route 53 and create a record. Go for this and create a record. Go with this and go with it's a text record. Okay. So IP address type and just is a text record. Text record is the text is this. Okay. Define simple record. Create the record. So let's not hurry. Let's let's wait a minute. The DNS sync up should take time. Okay. So let's not make it too hurry. I will do that. What I'm trying to make is a certificate, a wildcard certificate, so that I can use it anywhere. Not only to this Kubernetes, anywhere on the on that particular domain, I can use that. So that's what I'm just trying to do. I could have checked the ones before the session. Okay. Cool. And I got the certificate. And where do I have my certificate? I have my certificate in this place. Just go with this, go there, do ls. It just gives certain files. So cat and go for, you can import this into Amazon. Cert.pem, you have this content. So this is a certificate. So just take that, go to Amazon, certificate, certificate. This is what? Certificate. And this is a private key, and this is a chain.pem, and this is a full chain. Okay. So cert.pem. Certificate body, yeah, cert. Okay, go with that. And the next one is certificate private key. Certificate private key, what I is a private key, right? So it's a private key.pem. Add this, take this, and the certificate chain. So chain, right? So chain it is asking. So here is a chain you have, or you can give full chain also. Anything is okay. So chain is fine. I will take this one. So next, automatically it identifies what is your certificate. It is telling that it's star.cube ticket, and you're done. And you go back now. Your load balancer can go with HTTPS configuration. So add a listener, and I would say it's HTTPS. And if it is HTTPS, forward it to this group, and the certificate is actually star.cube. This one. Click on save. Okay, so let's go to the listener, go to the notes. It's actually in the initialization. I'm not sure it works or not. Let's wait. It's saying it is unhealthy, so which it should not say, by the way. And But let's delete this. Let's recreate once again. Go to the load balancer. Go to the listener. Okay, load balancer. No, target group. Let's create a target group, and the target group is an instance, and it's a default one. And you go for HTTPS, and you check for slash. And so actually, we would like to override the port, which has to go on 6443. Okay, so that's the difference actually. And the target group name, say nodes, and the protocol is HTTPS. What is this protocol? Let's take a look now. So now it is, we're putting as a HTTPS 443. Now we'll not get an error saying that, hey, it's a HTTPS client, you're sending a traffic of HTTP. So it is doing the health check also of that particular node. So previously it was configured as HTTP. So that's where it was failing. Now let's see. It's saying it is unused. And of course, I'll go with the add listener. And I will say HTTPS. I will go to forward it to nodes. And this one. Go back to the target group, and I'm waiting for it to become active. It's initializing. It should be coming healthy. Still it is unhealthy. I don't know. So it's returning a 403. Yeah, permission denied kind of thing. Okay. So probably if I just give call this, sorry, call HTTPS //localhost :443. Also, you can use a -k option to ignore that certificate. 6443. Okay, to ignore the certificate, you're getting something. So, but you're getting 403. You see this? And that's the reason. So I will just go and give something like /health or something. It should be there usually, no? And /OK. Yeah, health. So this is the word actually we should be using. /health is the one which I will be checking it out. Go here, click on edit. So this one has to be health. So then only it can become active. Until then it will not. So if you wait for a minute, you will get it. Or let's deregister this. Yeah, you see this? Now if I go back and run our this one, it should work. No, but that's not a port 80, it's a port 443. 1 second. I pressed Control C. So yeah, so you already have some configuration. So that's what it is telling. So cube ADM -help and upgrade reset performs the best effort to revert the source cube ADM and you join. Okay, no config alpha. There is no option of tear down this node, right? So let's go with the another node. Okay, so why this node? We can go with the other node and we'll give it a try. Load balancer side issues are fixed, so that's where I'll go with the other node. This is the node I'm taking. Let's go there. If we make automation, the things will be easier. So since we're just doing it manually, I have to copy here and there the things. So here it is. Come back from steps. First, some network and install Docker. After that, this command. Okay, done. And now I can go for that command. So since this node is not there, I think target group, register nodes, add the other two nodes also. So you can also try look for the way to waste time, let it run or fail, whatever it is. So in the alternative, so what you have, some enterprise tools are there. So which is something called as COPS. So COPS is a Kubernetes this one. So which is kind of an open source free tool. And so there are a lot of free tools. If you talk about, there are a lot of tools. When it comes to enterprise, so one actually so stands as a leader is Kubernetes Rancher. Okay, so Rancher is the kind of a enterprise guy actually who does this. And also VWorks or VWorks, yeah. So these guys also provide some tools around Kubernetes grade cluster. Okay, so these guys provide their own cluster. I don't really remember. Think they provide a SaaS service, or can you also download something? Platform, resources, resource center. Yeah, it's a SaaS service directly. So if you go to the pricing, the telling, so per node $30. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, but whereas this guy actually can allow you to install your own cluster in the servers of whatever you have chosen. Okay. So this guy go with the products, and you go for the different products which you have. And the resources. So somewhere you'll find out Rancher on AWS. You'll find the doc only. That also failed. I don't want to waste the time around there. I need to take a look. So today is my brain is literally not working. So I can go with the docs or Rancher Kubernetes on AWS. Put that way, you'll find out the doc directly from their website only. So just install that particular tool and just run it. Okay, all it expects is some access. Yeah, all you need to just run is this Rancher, and Rancher you get the UI and you can just deal with this. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just go with scraping up all these things. I'll take a look of the session and I'll get back to this on this. or even excuse me on this. So Rancher also I will. It's been a while. I am also not sure on these newer versions what all the updates are there. So give me. You can stop here. So I will take a look of the session and I will get back on this. Okay. So I thought actually it just happens, so it's QBadium is very simple. You just run it, you get it out of the box. Just thought it works. But something I'm not sure. Need to take a look. But really sorry for not
no
having
issues.
it. Yeah.
No issues. We will see tomorrow.
Yeah.
Got a doubt here. So even this OpenShift also in the same category, right? As like Rancher.
OpenShift is, Rancher OpenShift is Ansible. So that means Kubernetes, Kubernetes place, you should see OpenShift. In the terms of provisioning, you can use Rancher, you're using any other tool. And there, OpenShift guys comes up with Ansible. Nowadays, I think it's a simple binary they're making, not even Ansible. Okay, with Red Hat, OpenShift 4 version and all. But yeah, so like Kubernetes versus OpenShift. Rancher, you cannot directly look in there. Or Rancher also supports that. Also, I am not sure that if that supports OpenShift, I'm not sure. I didn't see.
Okay.
We'll just continue in tomorrow's session. I'll just definitely take a look what I'm missing. So yeah, we'll continue in tomorrow's session. Really sorry for that. See you tomorrow. Bye. Good day, good night.
Yeah, sure.